This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode number 51, by the power of spin-offs. Soft, 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 soft.
Superman.
Hello and welcome to episode 51 of the Cult Faction Podcast by the power of spin-offs. I'll be your host for this episode. My name is Brett Summers, and joining me will be
Paul Hawkins. Damien's frozen. Oh, we all sound like drunk Daleks tonight, don't we?
Yeah, we're all a bit bunged up. Actually, Damien's fine. The rest of us are bunged up.
I'm fine. You're ill and I'm not.
Yeah, so we're all colded up at the moment, battling off He-Man flu, which is like man flu but a lot stronger. And so how's everyone been? We had a week off.
And I actually went on holiday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you go to America and watch lots of TV programs?
No, I didn't. Not like you guys. I can't freak trips to the States to go and watch. I was going to say Family Guy then. What's it called?
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, that's the one.
But more on that later. So what have you been up to then, Damien? How was Cornwall?
Wet and windy. It's thoroughly miserable. But I wasn't at work. And I wasn't doing this nonsense. So actually, it was quite nice. I don't think you guys can see it from where you are, but I've also bought myself a Millennium Falcon table lamp.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Oh, where's the table lamp?
I don't think you can see it because it's quite a distance away from the camera, and I can't. It's obviously plugged in, so I can't bring it to the camera.
Oh wow! Something
Sorry.
to look forward
to. Is it right
when
behind
we
your
round.
head?
No, it's up by Ecto 1 on the fridge over there and behind me. So if you can see the poster for Phantom Menace,
I think I can
just
see
by
the. I think I can see the light coming out the back of it. Would that be correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
It's pretty cool.
Nice.
I plan to try and see if I can mount it on the ceiling somewhere, but for the time being, it's just still in its.
It's a nice
frame.
It's a nice Star Wars ship you got there.
Yeah.
Right. What have you been up to, Paul?
Ones that are good.
I've been ill.
Have you bought any spaceships?
No, I've had a rubbish weekend. I've been ill. Pretty much been in bed. Then it got worse Monday, Tuesday.
Is that a small violin I hear in the corner over there?
He just asked me what I've been up to, so not much. But I did buy myself a PlayStation 5 to make myself happy.
Yay! What games did you get?
Funny. Stop going on about that.
Huh?
What games did you get?
So I got Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I downloaded what's it bloody called? It's like a really Elden Ring. Downloaded that this afternoon in like 10 minutes, which is cool now because of my new broadband. 10 gig in 10 minutes. There we go.
So Paul's going gaming.
Boom.
There, yeah. Well, I just thought I'd try
I
and
still recommend the Horizon Forbidden West and the other one as well, if you get the chance, when you get bored of your other cool games.
We're working my way through them.
Excellent. Okay, then let's switch our attention now to what's been on our boxes this week. Damien, what have you been watching?
Well, nothing, because I've been on holiday. So I normally come to this podcast and say I've not watched much, and I have 2 or 3 things to list. This time it's generally nothing. The reception in the caravan was awful. I couldn't be bothered to set up the laptop to get Netflix working or any of that malarkey. So I've watched nothing. We just got drunk every night and played cards.
Well, but not even any Dr. Martin filming?
No, different part of Cornwall. It's quite a big place, you'll find.
No, fair
enough. Do any reading?
No. To be fair, when you're taking as you know, Paul, taking a 2-year-old on holiday is quite exhausting. because the day is just full on. What we doing? What we doing? What we doing? Can I do this? What we doing? What we doing? Can I? What we doing? So by sort of 7 o'clock, that's it. I go to bed.
So you don't read to your child? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
You know what? You know when the kids go to bed, you don't have to. It's not a. It's not a.
You don't have to, but
She's
you're
worn you
knackered.
out. She's worn you out this week, isn't she?
So, some people go out for some nice paella at that point.
yeah,
They're awake now.
they're awake that one.
The little cherub has just worn you out. You can tell.
Yeah.
It's like when you go away on holiday and come back and you need a holiday.
Well,
Okay.
these last 2 days in the office, as in here, working, have been bliss. I'm actually thinking what I might do is book some time off work and not tell anyone, and then just come out here every day for a week, pretending I'm working.
Dude, have you ever watched Dead
Right,
Pixels?
Yeah.
You're the American pilot
when
guy.
everyone's on.
You're the American pilot guy.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not going to argue with that.
Paul, have you been watching anything from your sickbed?
Yeah.
You managed to summon the strength up.
So, watched Encanto a few times when the kids were with me to look after me.
I saw a bit of it at school. I think I watched the first bit about 2 weeks ago, and I've seen the end now. Yeah, go for it.
I'm only on my 98th watching of Encanto.
What was your verdict?
Oh, we've already spoken about it before. It's all right. The songs grow on you like a fungus.
I kind of watched it, and I was like, did anything actually happen?
No, that's the really weird thing about it. Her family all have magical powers apart from her, and the whole tale is that she's really special.
But isn't her power is to bring the family together?
Yeah, but that's crap, isn't it? She doesn't actually get to do anything. But anyway, at the end of it, she brings all the family together after they've lost all their powers. They will get their powers back, but she doesn't get one. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, everyone's happy then.
Isn't her power that she wears glasses? Because that's all I've seen about this film is that there's a big thing because she's wearing glasses.
Yeah, she wears glasses, yeah. Some would say that's not a power, that's having deficient eyesight like myself.
See, I was waiting for her to take them off and be a totally different character that I hadn't recognised previously because she was wearing glasses.
Yeah, and start flying or something. But no, none of that happened. I'm not going to diss it too much because, as I said, I've been ill, and you know when you're a bit poorly, and actually if you've got your kid next to you and there's a bit of a touching moment in the film, then you kind of go, oh, that's kind of sweet. Yeah, so I'm not going to diss it too much, but as I said, I've watched it a few times over the last few days, and enough is enough.
Cool.
And the songs just keep going through my head, apart from my flu, which keeps going through my head. So that was that. We have also been watching. I say we. So I have been watching The Pirates, The Lost Royal Treasure. So
tell me more.
So this is on Netflix right now. This is a Korean film about pirates. Not about zombies. Oh no. Not about demons. Oh no, that's so last year. Now they've made their way to pirates. I'm not going to lie. Just like everything that comes out of Korea, this isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea. Oh no. Some people are going to watch this and think, oh, this harks back to something from the 80s. It's all about a bit cheesy. It's all about, slapstick comedy, all that kind of stuff. Over the top, slapstick, over the top gags. I think Monkey, but that kind of ilk.
Oh yeah, Monkey now available on BritBox.
Whatever. It's really good. It's really good. If you can get past it, if you can get rid of any chip on your shoulders when you go into watching films, and you just want a film that harks back to those kind of late 80s, early 90s family films, I'm not going to compare it directly to Willow, but it's trying to compete with some of that feeling, if that makes any sense.
Is it a family thing? Is it more for who's it pitched at?
So it would absolutely be a family thing. apart from the fact there's a lot of swearing in it. Needless swearing for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And obviously it's it's dubbed over. But yeah, if it wasn't for the swearing, it would be absolutely be a family film. But there's quite a lot of swearing. The violence isn't too graphic. It's not really lewd. It's not really, there's no scenes of grotesque violence. As I said, there's no sexual scenes. It's just really, as I said, it would be a family film from the 80s and 90s. But it's got a bit of swearing in there as well, quite a lot of it.
Ooh.
So yeah, if you go,
And what was that called again? Sorry.
Well, it's The Pirates, and even though IMDb and I think Netflix has it as the last royal treasure, I think it should be the lost royal treasure, because it's all about a lost royal treasure. So I'm not sure whether something's been lost in translation, pun intended. That was one of the things I watched on my own. I'm not gonna lie. No one else in the household was going to watch that with me. But then new out on Netflix, The Adam Project. So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. This was the new one with.
Please tell me it's okay, because I do want to watch that. I've seen the trailer for it. I thought it looked quite good. Please don't ruin that illusion.
It's got your favourite in it, isn't it?
That's right, Brett. This does have the Cult Faction podcast favourite, Ryan Reynolds. Zoe Saldana, who, let's face it, isn't short of an odd acting role or two in some big blockbusters. Mark Ruffalo, or as I've had it spelled check, Fuffalo. Thanks, Apple. And the lovely Jennifer Garner. So yeah, Ryan Reynolds plays a time traveling pilot, ends up having to team up with his younger version of himself. And also, weirdly enough, go back in time to team up with his father as well to try and save the future. Now, I just needed a break to cough then. I'm not going to give too much away because it literally has.
Don't give anything away. Don't. Paul. Just don't. You can do it. You can talk about this and not give anything away.
That's what I'm saying.
You can just kind of say whether it's good, whether you enjoyed it. Just don't give anything away.
So I'm not going to give too much away.
Spoilers.
Just give nothing.
Yeah,
nothing away.
Okay. It's a really good watchable film.
We can stop there.
It's just a bit where Ryan Reynolds dies in it, and is the boy, and you think, oh, hold on, if he died as a boy, how can Ryan Reynolds in the future still carry on? Bit of a weird thing. Yeah, he should be dead. No, that was a joke. He doesn't really die.
That was 12 Monkeys, wasn't it?
No, it is good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the best film ever. It's nice escapism.
Is it fun? We like fun. We can do fun.
It is. Needed to cough again. It is fun. The relationship and the on-screen chemistry that Ryan Reynolds has with all of his other co-stars, even the boy, it's just really cool. It looks like one of those fun movies that you wish you were a famous actor to be part of, to get paid lots of money for doing something really fun. And that just just shouts throughout the whole film, even the scenes with Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, and I won't mention any spoilers, but yeah, it is good. It's not the best film ever. It's not on the same par as I was going to say some something like a Stargate or a Star Wars or a Star Trek. Those one defining films over that come out every few years. But it's really nice.
How does it match up against his other recent film, the one where he's the video game character, which I've forgotten what it's called now? I was about to say it.
The one on Disney.
Yeah. The Free Guy. No.
So completely different.
Free Man, something like that.
Free Guy.
Yeah. How does it match up with that?
So I'd love to say they're completely different characters and played in completely different acting styles. The films are completely different, I will say that. And Ryan Reynolds is brilliant in both. The only other thing that I wanted to finish on, I probably watched a few other things, but I've probably been too high on medicine to even notice. We've been watching I want to say a drama called Our House, and I think it's on ITV Player. I think it's on ITV
I
Player.
think I've got these recorded and I haven't watched it yet. But if it's
Is that the
I'm
one where the
gonna
house
say-
gets sold from underneath her?
That's right, Damien.
Yeah, I saw the first episode of that. So I lied. I did see the first episode of that last Monday when we were down in Cornwall. But I haven't watched any of the rest of it. So
I can't believe you lied to us.
yeah, I know. I do apologise. I will go and flagellate myself.
You was
Cool.
well, you was well, Bendy.
Yeah, so some kind of Dan Brown novel or something. Yeah. So Our House, we watched some of that. We kind of binged it on ITV Player, I think it was. But the nice thing about it is there's only 4 episodes, so it didn't drag it out more than like I don't know, some random bomb disposal expert thing on ITV a few weeks ago. Although weirdly enough, this has got Martin Compston in it, who is in Line of Duty. So yeah, it plays. He is starring Tuppence Middleton as the wife of Martin Compston, as I said, who's off of Call of Duty, Line of Duty, not Call of Duty. And yeah, basically, she turns up to her house and finds out that it's been sold under her feet, as it were. Can't get hold of her husband, doesn't know what's going on, blah blah blah. And then it's the rationale about what's happened to the house, why is it being sold, and the plot behind all that. I'm absolutely not going to give too much away because it literally has just come out. It's okay. It's not brilliant. It falls down in a few places, but for a 4-part drama series, I think it does its job really well. The acting is quite cool. I can't really diss the acting. The plot, as I said, has a few stumbling points, but I forgive it. Give it a watch.
I might just do that.
Yeah, so that's my watching experience done. As I said, got the PlayStation 5 literally last night. So managed to transfer across the files from my PlayStation 4 and the game stuff that the eldest has been playing onto the PlayStation 5. That took an hour, to be fair. Then obviously you need to update software.
Then you're gonna have all the updates you got to do.
Yeah. But started playing some Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is cool. Don't mind that.
So I'm gonna regret this, but what's the premise of that game? Is it shoot 'em? No, it's not shoot 'em up, is it? Is it sort of what would in the old days would have been called a platform? But
It's
more.
it's a free roamer if it's like the original.
Oh, is it?
He's kind of. I mean, there's a whole of like New York to fly around, basically, or swing around or run around, which in turn is quite cool. You know, I kind of like the idea that I can just go down wherever I want to, just chilling out. Maybe just attack a hot dog stand with my web slinger. Not get arrested. Yeah, so you do have a map. You can go off and do certain challenges and off script stuff, but I wouldn't. It's not really a free roamer. Don't think Red Dead Redemption, Damien.
Okay.
But I mean, there's you need to complete some tasks. There's a story to it, but if you want to get some power ups and all this kind of stuff, or go off and do some other activities, you can do that. And it's quite good. The controls are okay. The fact that you can swing through buildings is okay, and the haptic controls or whatever it is all right. Doesn't really showcase it on this one. The one that comes free with it, Astro, whatever his name is, that really showcases everything that the controller can do. But it's just a bit of a boring game, even though everyone raves about it. Not Miles Morales, the Astro thing that comes with it. The one that I have downloaded and only managed to play for an hour before this and getting the kids fed and watered and off to bed and reading is Elden Ring, which that really is if you want to just walk around different worlds for pretty much however long you want to. I only played it for about an hour and a half. I died a few times by a big boss that came out and just killed me quite a few times. Different bosses just randomly turn up Yeah, I'm just walking around
But
minding my own.
what's the basic Elden Ring story then for those that might not be familiar?
Okay, so this is the one that was, and it says it's co-written by George R.R. Martin, but I think
It's
from
not
his own.
finished then.
Well, no, I think from his own words, I don't think he necessarily takes that much credit for it, because I think the main writer from I forgot the name of the production company or the company that made it now, that they did the bulk of the writing. He was just there as, I think, as more of a creative,
like a plot pointer.
yeah, I
kind of
think
thing.
so. But basically, the world's been destroyed. There are 5 evil bosses in the grand scheme of things that all have these
Rings.
things that you need to get off them. You're a person that's been killed and you're brought back to life, and you have to go back and like basically take them all on one at a time. But the world is, and I've only been playing it for an hour, so most of this is just from what I've seen online. But it does look huge, and the fact is that you can just wander around, just doing whatever you want, really. There's lots to do. The thing that I quite like about it is, even though it's open world, it changes. So I came in a few times because I got slaughtered by random big bosses that just killed me, even though I was minding my own business. And to get back there again, I noticed that a lot of the baddies have changed, or some of them have changed, or there's new things that have been introduced. It's just really weird. It's just subtle differences like that. You don't walk into a room and there's instantly going to be someone there, you know. So that was quite cool. I'll give it some more playtime, and then playtime, and a feedback next week, because I don't want to do it too disservice or big it up too much, because I haven't played it too much. I like the fact it's quite difficult. I like the fact that there seems to be a big bad on a horse that for some reason has it in for me and won't leave me alone and just comes to get me wherever I am in the map at the moment. He's starting to annoy me, but I can't kill him, and so I have to just try and creep around and try and avoid him, hoping that I somehow get some magical powers in the future that allows me to take him on. Or maybe I'm just crap at fighting, I don't know. Maybe I'm a lover, not a fighter. But yeah, I'll report back more next week. But for my little bit of it that I've seen, it's worth the 45 quid or whatever it is for it, because it looks a huge game.
Yeah, I highly recommend Horizon Forbidden West as well. I've cleared all the story side of it now, and I'm now just trying to do all the other side missions and getting leveled up big time before all the DLC drops.
Oh yeah, that's the weird thing about this one as well. Apparently, you can go to like a point and like call in people from online. So if there is a bad dude on a horse with a big freaking sword that keeps picking on me, I can go online and say, "Can someone help me get? Can someone help me? Please.
Help!
He keeps picking on me. Come and help me beat him up."
Yeah.
Apparently, I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, it's cool because in Horizon Forbidden West now I've got like I can't remember what it's called now. It's not a dragon, but it's a bit like a dragon. I've got a dragon.
Is it
No,
No,
wyvern?
I thought you were going to say you got a posse or something together.
No, but it's cool because when there's some bits,
Is it
where
a
you like
wyvern?
no, it's a flame bird. Oh no, it's got some name that's not copyrighted by anyone else.
The wyvern's not copyrighted. It's just the difference between a dragon and a wyvern is that like.
No, it's like it's like a cyborg sort of pterodactyl type thing. And
that's nothing like a dragon, then, is it?
But it basically, you know, it's the pseudo dragon. They've changed, you know.
We're
But
going to have
anyway,
another geek fight.
But basically, yeah, when it's like, right, you need to crack the code to go through and like get to the top of this building to get the information. It's like, no, I don't. I got a fucking dragon, or whatever it is, and I just fly to the top, which kind of ruins the point of some of the enjoyment of the game, but also makes it quicker. Although, yeah, so there's lots of, but there's still other stuff to figure out. There's loads of hidden stuff in it. And as you roam around, things pop up that weren't necessarily on the map, you know, but because you've gone to that corner, it appears then because you're near enough to it and stuff. So it's a really good game. Even once you've finished all the like the main like central mission line, there's still lots of other things that pop up, and they promised all this DLC stuff that's going to come into it as well. So I just want to get as hard as I can before that stuff comes in now. I'm just trying to avoid any of the ones where I have to pay for stuff. Because I know that'll be one of the DLCs. Like, now we've got a store. And I was like, no,
That's the story of your life, though, isn't it, Summers?
I'm not buying crates and loot crates.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
absolutely. But that's the thing. I'd rather pay for the game and that be it.
I like
opposed
the
to-
days when you bought a game and you had the game. I don't mind
Yeah.
add-on things where it's DLC or updates or
new level or
new
a
level
few
or something like
levels,
that, you know, to keep it going. But not like, you know, it's a whole new thing. But yes, I've been doing that. Bizarrely, I've gone through season 2 of Dead Pixels as well, which is what reminded me of Damien earlier on, and it's still very. It stands the test of time, and it's still on 4OD, whatever it's called nowadays. So go and check that out if you haven't seen it.
I
Very
like that.
fun
I like that. That was grown-up humour.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm still going through Bel Air, and it's still good. It's holding up. I don't know if it's been renewed or not yet. I haven't seen, but I know what'll happen now. I'll get really into it, and there'll be a nice cliffhanger, and then they'll cancel it. And I should have just left it to the end before I committed.
I don't think. I think they'll do another one.
God,
I've not seen anyone slating it. I've not seen any reviews or anything saying it's as bad as as bad as they were expecting or anything like that. So
It's about the number of viewers, though, isn't it? Let's face it.
I went in ready to shit on it. That was why I watched it, and then suddenly I was on episode 4.
Exactly.
So yeah, it works. It works. What else have I been watching? The new South Park is still holding up well. I know you lot are too grown up for cartoons these days, but you should check it out.
Not too grown up for cartoons. There's just been a lot of water under the bridge since my first watching of South Park.
Oh, go back and have a look. You might be
No,
surprised.
I've got too much on.
What, 20 minutes?
So there.
You can put it on while you're waiting for your friends to come and save you on your computer game.
I think Elden Rings is going to take up the next 50 years of my life the way it's going. Particularly if this badass guy keeps killing me every time I leave safety.
Yeah, you do sound like you're in Dead Pixels, but
seriously, it's like he's picking on me.
I've also, speaking of picking on people, Peaky Blinders. Anyone been keeping up with that?
No.
The new series that?
No, that was one that I watched the first series and didn't go back to. I don't know why, because I liked it.
It's the old rule of diminishing returns, I feel. Although it's still active out, and it got critical acclaim for its current episodes.
This is the last one now, isn't it?
Yeah, before the film, I'm guessing.
or they do a Christmas special Peaky Blinders.
All right, Santa, you bastard. Right, so I saw that, and then as you may have seen, date night on Saturday involved watching Revenge of the Nerds, the 1984 classic.
That's an interesting choice.
Hero of cult.
Yeah, definitely the greatest hero of cult according to TikTok, Curtis Armstrong. Yeah, no, it was. We wanted a comedy. It was on Amazon to rent for £3.50, and you know what? It was cool because you didn't have to rewind it or have to take it back by like 7 o'clock the next day.
Yeah,
which is probably the last time I rented it. That was what you had to do. I didn't have to lie about my age either.
There's no other comedies from the last 38 years that you could have watched.
No, but I would say watching it in the 1984 headspace to now, stalking, rape, putting video cameras in and voyeurism of watching girls aren't as funny as they were nowadays as they were in 1984.
Yeah.
Because, there's a lot of that in there. And you're like, okay.
That's right. Laws have changed now, so that's kind of frowned upon, isn't it?
Yes. In 1984, it was ha funny, nudge nudge, wink wink. Now it's like that would never happen. Yeah, so they've tried to remake it a few times. I'd be interested to see how they did it, but yeah.
How was it received by your good lady?
Loved it. Thought it was hilarious.
And what about the film?
Took her breath away. No, it was fun because you take it for what it is, and it was probably one of the first, maybe next to Porky's, one of those sort of, I don't know, what, sex comedies? Is that what you would?
Well, no. I don't think
it was. but it was probably one of the more mainstream hits of that genre.
Yeah.
Because I think was Can't Buy Me Love before that.
Oh, you're pushing me now.
Along a
I
similar
thought
line.
that was after. I could be wrong.
I'm not
could be
sure. I
completely
can't.
wrong.
I just genuine question. I don't remember. But though it's kind of Revenge of the Nerds. Can't Buy Me. I keep wanting to say Can't Hurry Love. Can't Buy Me Love, and something else that were kind of mainstream of that genre. Whereas I think was Porky. Would you? I know it's got a cult status now, but I don't necessarily think Porky's was mainstream at the time it came
Yeah,
out.
I mean, it went
You see what I mean?
massive.
No. I know it went massive, but what I mean is Porky's was the one that kick-started. You probably wouldn't have had Porky's if you didn't have Revenge of the Nerd.
Yeah,
the other way around.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have Revenge of the Nerds if you didn't have Porky's. But I don't think Porky's was necessarily expected to be a mainstream
No,
film.
it was
that next level down from a
Yes, it's a weird one.
from a Bluey.
Yeah.
And and you probably wouldn't have had American Pie. Or
There is. You're right. You can trace that stream, for want of a better term, all the way through from Porky's right the way through to
Oh, this
American Pie and
this
whatever
sounds
stuff
like
that's out now.
sounds like an episode special. We may have just plotted out.
Yeah.
Although I must admit, I think I watched Porky's again like 10 years ago, and it didn't seem as bad as it did, or it was hyped out to be back in the day, as it were, because it was supposed to be like so full on and to me
it was in those days. But
but that's my point.
The hype would have come from how it was received in the States, where they have a completely different attitude to those kind of films to certainly how we did 30 years ago over here.
And who was our woman in the UK? Was it Betty? What was her name?
Not Barbara Woodhouse.
Standards woman. Always going on about it in
Mary Whitehouse.
Mary Whitehouse.
Mary Whitehouse experience.
I was close to Barbara Woodhouse.
Didn't she train dogs or something?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Walkies.
Yeah.
But carry on, sorry, Paul.
No, I'm just saying. So I think a lot of it was based on their hype of criticizing it, and then everyone wanted to go and see it, and similar to everything. You ban something, people want to see it more.
Yeah. It was like number one for, I think, in France and that. It was like number one at the box office for like nearly a year or something. It was just one of those. Yeah, that's true. But it was one of those films, like you say, it was supposed to be like a throwaway, and then it became, and obviously in those days, which I don't know if you really have anymore, the playground. Have you seen Porky's? Have you seen Revenge of the Nerd? And the shifty videotapes being shared amongst people or whatever. Nowadays it's like, have you seen that? Yeah, I watched it 8 weeks ago before it was out. I downloaded it or something. That's kids today.
Can I borrow your USB stick because I can't afford to download it or
that's what kids are like nowadays. Yeah, but So
did I tell you how good my broadband is now? And the fact that I downloaded that game. So it was like 11 gig in like a couple of minutes. It was brilliant.
Well done. We haven't got a sponsorship.
I hate to say it, but I've been doing that for years.
I know, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant. The fact I'm getting like half a gig, 600 meg a second download.
I had
the only annoying thing is that despite how good our broadband is, we're still light years behind what they're getting out in like the likes of Hong Kong and China and Japan and stuff, where it's like bloody phenomenal. Anywho, just need to say that.
Yeah, but they're not trying to piggyback on copper wire and all that nonsense.
I've got 3 things left though. I have watched. Actually, what should I go for first?
Oh, we're still talking. Hey, cool.
Yeah, no, yeah, we still got stuff.
Recording.
Sister Boniface.
Sorry. Oh, you started watching that?
Yeah, the crime fighting nun
from the 60s or whenever it was.
Yeah.
Well, with the what was it? The Wurzel Gummidge thing or the Aunt Sally?
It was very
the one we talked about. Yeah.
It was very Wicker Man, that episode.
Which you all mocked me for putting it on the news. I remember this. You mocked me for putting this on the news.
I said I would watch it.
Here we are now.
I mocked it.
After the initial mocking.
No, I mocked the left-hand side, and then I read the right-hand side, which is the detail. I thought, oh, that sounds quite good.
I know what I speak.
I would say, has anyone else watched it yet?
I don't even know what it's on.
I've been on holiday.
I don't know. You might have been in the episode. It looked like where you went.
What's it on, Brett?
UK drama Dave type channel.
Is that like
Yeah, I think
Virgin or
it's UK
Sky?
drama.
I think it's UK
Both.
drama.
It's
I don't
on
know.
Virgin and Sky.
Right, cool.
Yeah. So if you type in
But do I want to
Money
watch it? Do I
No,
Brett
I
tell
would
me?
say it's a lighter Death in Paradise, but
Lighter?
without the, because it's kind of,
How can you get lighter than Death in Paradise?
it's very
What?
it's a bit twee. It's very much
More than Death in Paradise.
yeah, but it's
Jesus.
it's almost like the same sort of structure of Death in Paradise. But I've only seen episode 1 so far, so it could change. But it was very much, you get the scene, then they find the body, and then the people have to come into it and all that. And it was, but it
So
was
we're
kind
talking about
of
the program, yeah?
yeah. But then it just kind of, once you sort of meet the 5 or 6 people it might be, I was like, it was Colonel Mustard in the library with the candlestick, and it was like literally called it all, which is something you never normally get in Death in Paradise because it's a bit more surreal or imaginative or clever or whatever, and that kind of disappointed me a bit. But it's kind of, it's a little, it's, I don't know, I'd almost say it's tongue in cheek, but
Right.
they play it straight because like you've got the snooty character, like there's some snooty characters, and it's
I bet there is.
we're in the village and down in the village, and it's very much, it could have been the Vicar of Dibley, it's that kind of, but it's a bit more, I don't know. I'll watch the next one just to see how it pans out, but I don't know if it'll sustain the thing.
think
Well,
I think
you got to remember it's a spin-off from Father Brown, which is a
Yeah.
daytime, exactly that twee detective.
Oh yeah,
program
no,
or
I get that
amateur
bit. I get
detective
that
program.
bit.
So, it's a bit odd that it is on at that time because it's like, if I remember rightly, when we talked about it, it's like a 9 o'clock or an 8 o'clock
Yeah,
at
so I
night.
mean, it's on 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, and there is a bit of, there is a bit of graphicness in it as far as you can.
Oh, really?
Sort of thing. Yeah.
What does none do?
Full frontal none. No, no, like you see, like
Nuns on the run.
you see the dead body. Yeah, tuck it in. You see like the dead body and all that sort of thing, or someone points a gun at someone, which I suppose is threatening behaviour nowadays. That you have to put a trigger warning on, and all that sort of thing. But yeah, no, it's enjoyable, but it was just a bit kind of, I was like, like with Death in Paradise, normally, at least with all the other weird stuff that goes on, you're trying to solve the case, you're trying to get your head around it because there's something surreal about it to work out. Whereas this one, it was like, he's done it with that, and it was, and then you're like, oh, and then it's just kind of a little bit of, well, right, I guess you're going to have to stay in the village now and help us with our next case, detective. Oh, yes, okay. Ha ha ha.
That's kind of made up my mind then. I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to watch Death in Paradise. I'm just going to invest the time to watch Doc Martin. I've been talking about it for years. I like Martin Clunes. I like every time it's on, or whenever it was on, and we just happen to see 5 minutes of it. It's like, oh, that's good. We should watch that. Never did. I'm going to do it.
I just watch it to go, oh, I've been there. I've seen that bit. I've walked down that street.
Yeah, I was like that in films like Notting Hill and About a Boy. Oh, that's the pub we used to go to. That's just around the back of my work.
I was like that on Crime Watch.
Yeah, you're right. About a Boy was literally filmed behind the church and everything, isn't it?
Yeah. Three Kings.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 2 more things. 2 more things.
Sorry, Brett.
That's all right. The Witchfinder.
Oh, what was it like?
It was okay. I was expecting to be a bit more blown away by it. It was kind of, I'd go about a 6 out of 10. It was all
I've got another confession to make. I did watch that. I forgot all about that.
Oh, here he comes.
Yeah.
Here he comes. I think the reason I forgot it was because it was a bit meh.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was all right. I mean, I watched the next one to see, it's the first episode. Hopefully they'll find their feet in. It's only, I think there's 6 episodes. But for the people in it, and not just the main 2, some of the other guys and girls had been thinking. Jessica, whatever her surname is now, it used to be in Spaced, was the old lady and stuff. Is it Steen now? Stein? Jessica? Because she totally changed her name.
I'm not sure what her surname is now.
When she got married, she totally changed her name, didn't she? And then for ages, I wondered who that was.
Sometimes happen when you get married.
Yeah, not when you're a celebrity.
So I must admit, when they were the lead character, I forgot his name now. Lead actor was on the Sunday morning thing with Cheers, Simon. Cheers.
Sunday brunch.
Yeah,
it's Tim. Is it Tim Key?
Tim Lovejoy.
Tim Vine. No.
Tim Lovejoy.
No, Tim Lovejoy is But the actor in The Witchfinder is Tim
Oh,
Key,
right.
I think.
Right, okay.
Tim
when
something.
When they were on that, they did like a preview of the show, and I was there going, "It's all right."
It was. But it was
It's weird.
kind of
It's
everything
almost
I expect it to be.
it looked like a bad version of Horrid Histories.
Yeah,
if I'm
it was
completely
almost.
honest.
Yeah, I mean, it
Because
was basically.
Horrid Histories is actually quite funny, and that's a kids show.
Yeah, it's almost like an older horrible histories, really. But it's got potential. But it's
Well, you
kind
should
of.
watch, if you like horrible histories, you should watch Horrible Histories. You should watch Ghosts. It's the same people.
I tried watching that and I couldn't get on with it. But I'll maybe try it again one day.
I've seen a couple of episodes. All right.
And I like them all because it's Beatty from Peep Show, Simon Farnaby. I like all the people in it. I
I
just
saw
don't know
I saw
why.
the Christmassy one. That was all right. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it, but if it was on, I'd watch it.
And it's the girl from Dead Pixel. She's the one in the house who moves
Yeah,
in with the
that's
boyfriend. And that's about like everyone in it, just together. I didn't. But maybe I'll try it again.
When they were together, it was murder.
Murder. And I'm Max, and that's Freeway. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I'll watch the next one, but for the people in it, I think I was expecting a lot more.
Yeah.
The people behind it. But again, maybe it's finding its feet because Reece Shearsmith pops up soon as well. I don't remember him in the first
That's
one.
right,
So I
yeah,
missed him. No, and the last thing on my list, the Batman.
Sorry, what?
The Batman.
You ventured out and
I did. Really good. Very dark. It is 3
Really?
hours.
dark
I
from
mean-
a Batman film.
But it's actually dark as well, not just in tone. It's just love it's at night time,
From a Batman film. Who would have thunk?
but it's really dark. I mean, it's almost like someone sat on the button at times and made the color go like dark. Yeah, but no, really good. Very. I thought it was a bit Sevenish because they've made the Riddler into a kind of their interpretation of it. He's very much like a kind of Seven. You know, he's doing horrible things and then leaving clues and videos for Batman to try and find, which is.
I don't
Probably-
mind that.
Yeah, no, it worked. It was all good, but they made it a bit more.
I'd rather that to some random person just making riddles and
Jim Carrey.
and Jim Carrey, yeah.
And but no, it played well. When it was violent, it was violent. There's a nice sort of twist on the end, and it has set out the trilogy has been greenlit now. Although straight away they announced the trilogy and then said also they're looking for Keanu Reeves to do a Batman film as well. And then Sam
What?
Raimi said he wouldn't mind doing a Batman film as well. And they said, oh, we could work with that. So Warner Brothers again, so does this even matter? Or are we just going to work on the next thing? It's...
They're just prostituting themselves out to,
Yeah,
to anyone or anything.
So what value does it have? I mean, I was impressed with Twilight Boy.
Did he shine in the moonlight?
Oh, he danced in it. Nah, he was a very good Batman, but his Bruce Wayne was a bit emo Bruce Wayne because they
It's
were
kind of what you thought it would be, though, didn't you? I mean,
Yeah.
I had my reservations with both, to be fair. But
No, he's not bad. When you see him as Batman,
no,
you're like, okay, I can
that's
take
what I'm
that.
saying. I said I
agree with
had
you.
my reservations, but you were
am
saying that
agreeing.
he'd be a good Batman, but
Yeah,
potentially not the Bruce.
But they played the Bruce Wayne as a bit more of a sort of whiny bitch, oh, my parents are dead, that type thing, rather than.
Did Alfred not just like slap him? It's like grow up.
Oh, he sort of does a bit.
Who's Alfred in it? Who's Alfred in it?
What's his face? Gollum. Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis. Okay.
And but it's kind of like like the dynamic for me was always that Bruce Wayne was the costume and Batman was who he really was, kind of interpretation for me anyway. So the womanizing celebrity philanthropist kind of thing was what he showed the people, and then Batman was who he was. Whereas in this one, he's kind of miserable in both lives. So it's just sort of
and that's the thing I think for me that I like Nolan's versions a lot because they absolutely played up on that.
yeah. But again, it's made clear that this is his second year as Batman. So we don't have to relive the parents getting shot again. It's referred to, but we don't have the whole for the 100th time the recreation of it all and all that. So it's pointed out it's his second year as Batman. No, I've been doing this 2 years and all that. So it's kind of
honest question. Well, no, honest question. A question with answer honestly. Compared to all the other Batmans, does this do anything different? Does it give anything different? Does it
I would
take it in
say
any other direction?
this is probably the first Batman film where he's actually a detective. Because it's a lot more on the solving of the clues, getting to the next bit for the Riddler's game, which is what it reminded me of like this, like Seven. You know, that kind of right. What we got to do next? Right, we need to do that. Now we need to get there. Otherwise, that's going to blow up and kill that person, or that's going to. I'm trying to solve the clues and all that. There's a lot more of that. Is it always done brilliantly? Not all the time, but
It's quite a long film as well, 3 hours.
yeah, it is 3 hours. Take a cushion. But it plays more on the fact that he is supposed to be the world's greatest detective, and it does play on that. You do get your gadgets, you do get your fighting, but it's more about him being the detective than it is him being whatever else he is, you know, whatever they do in the other. Oh, you get a bit of that. This time he's vengeance. I am vengeance. There was a few little bits you can see Fred's to pick up down the road if they're going that way, and it looks like they will now, because I think they were waiting on this one before they greenlit the other two. And you know, I would stick it probably for the films, probably above the last Nolan one. Actually, no, I'd probably put it in about the same one as the one with the Joker in with Heath Ledger.
Really?
Yeah, because that was a great performance, but it wasn't the greatest film because they tried to cram too much in. Whereas this one's more maybe could have done with a little bit more. I don't know. It's not. I'd
So
give it about,
you're comparing this to Dark Knight?
it's probably around it, but Dark Knight was a bit of a convoluted mess in places. I wasn't the biggest fan of that. The Two-Face stuff should have just been into the next film. They didn't need all that. They had a whole
Okay.
they had a whole film there that they could have gone with, and that they could have left him with him scarred.
No,
then
that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I'm just saying, there's Dark
No,
Knight.
I'm just giving you my. I'm just to the viewer. I'm just explaining my opinion of Dark Knight as well. So
Yeah.
when I compare it, I think
Great,
the
great
Two-Face
plot,
stuff could
great
have
acting.
been. Was it a great plot?
Yeah, I thought so, but good acting. You know, almost.
Oh yeah, the acting was
Oscar
good.
nomination. So you're comparing that with that? Great. I've got high hopes.
Other people said it wasn't, but I think it was. Story-wise, it was. I thought Catwoman was a bit of a weaker link to the film. But
Oh, so this was Zoe
Zoe Kravitz.
Kravitz, yeah.
I mean, she's always on the run, but she's just sort of. I don't know. She's not bad in it, but it's kind of like, did she need to be in it? If she's almost like Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. If she wasn't in it, he might have solved things a bit quicker without her. I don't know. It's one of those. Well, have a look, and that's. I don't want to give too much into it, but you'll
Was
see
there any
what I mean.
backstory for her?
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
it-
you get
was-
that.
Right, okay.
I'm not gonna, because that's all part of what
No.
unravels.
It's just there's no backstory for Batman. So
But no, you get the Bruce, you know, since your parents have been married, but you don't have to see it all again. It's just kind of referred to, and it's actually taken that people know what happened. But
Okay.
I can't say. I don't want to give anything away. I
No,
don't want to ruin
that's
it for you.
fine.
But yeah, and that's pretty much been everything I've watched, I believe. until I shout something else out in a minute.
Hi. You're taking me home, right?
This is some bullshit.
So that sound means it's time for our Resident Alien residential review. We've got 2 episodes to go over this week. Do bear with us. As you know, we are remote today because everyone is ill apart from Damien. So they're having a few crackly sound bits here and there, but we are braving the elements and sticking it out. And we turn our
I
attention
beg your pardon.
now, sticking out the sound issues, not sticking out
Oh, right.
anything else.
Okay.
I was going to say, I'm not sticking anything out.
I'm turning my camera off if that's what's happening.
Well,
Right,
Brett's
we-
not on his camera. We don't know what he's sticking out.
Yeah.
Well, we turn our attention first of all to
Why have you got? Is
episode.
that why you got your camera off?
That's because I'm hideously scarred. No, it's
Elephant
episode.
Man.
I was once a man. Yeah, it's season 2, episode 3, Girls' Night, which we would have reviewed last week, but there was an episode because we had a week off. We gave ourselves a holiday after 50 episodes. So, Girls' Night, it's the one that kicks off 24 years ago, and we see a summer camp where a young Liv witnesses a flash in the sky, it could be aliens. And then we see Michael living in the modern day confronting Harry, and it all gets a bit weird. Who uses his unique skills to get out the way of the police officers. And
Well, he gives them the memory thing, doesn't he?
yeah,
So
and then he gives them the whammy. Yeah.
yeah. So,
What did you think, Paul?
oh, sorry, I thought you were going to carry on with the rest of the episode. Synopsis. Honestly,
I don't want to spoil it all for everyone. That's all, because some people might want to watch it. But yeah,
so I haven't watched episode 4 yet. I love season 1, and I'm getting to that point with season 2. If I'm completely honest, and it hurts me to say it, where I'm starting to get a bit lost in translation, or starting to lose a bit of interest, because I think they are playing the long game and losing some of the traction, if that makes sense. I don't know. They're trying a bit.
I agree with you. I think you're 100% right, especially with episode 3. It really did feel like a filler episode.
Yeah, and as we said, there's only like 8 episodes or whatever there is in the series, or maybe less than that. And this one for me was like, well, they're building up some of the backstory from 20 years ago needlessly. They didn't need to do that. Where she was a kid on that camping trip.
I think they do though, but I'll get to that
Yeah,
later.
whatever. They might do.
No.
But then there's the whole subplot about having a girls' night, which didn't really add anything to anything. Then there's the whole thing about, him having to get with the scientist from the facility to get access.
Lois Griffin from Family Guy.
Yeah, and that was just played out a bit too long, and the stuff that he was doing wasn't really great. I mean, it wasn't that funny. It didn't really progress anything. This stuff with the kid, Max, or whatever his name is, again, was just continuation. And then, they didn't give the round thing back, but they hid it somewhere. It's like, well, why? Why not just give it back to him? I mean, so they're dragging everything out as opposed to make it like the series 1 was short, snappy, to the point, and it worked really well. For this season, I'm still getting they're going for 3 more seasons, and they're padding things out, and I think it's at the detriment to Resident Alien.
Damien.
Yeah, there's not a lot I don't disagree with. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. In other words, I do. I agree with what you just said. With episode 3, it was more of it was about the townsfolk, than it was about Harry and Asta, which doesn't, at the moment at least, add anything to the actual plot of Resident Evil.
Even the sheriff and his dad, it's like they're trying to build up the subplot there. It's like, well, all right, but when are the aliens coming?
Yeah, there's a few funny lines in there, and there's a few, I did chuckle when Harry started jumping around the log cabin, and he said something about, we've got ourselves a damn werewolf or something like that, and then there's one line about Silver Bullet. That was funny, but I think that was the one and only time I even chuckled through that episode, to be fair.
Oh no, I thought there were some good bits in it, but
I might be convoluting 2 episodes now, because obviously, because we're talking about episode 3, and obviously we've seen 4 as well. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just didn't.
I mean, it was just a bit random. I mean, to me, I'm all for character development, but you didn't need to develop everyone in the same episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it just ended with like a thing about gender pay gap issues and like bringing up the pay gap in the town.
That's the point. Oh, I did like the choice of theme music for that.
I forgot what it was now.
It was the Suicide is Painless.
Oh yes.
I did have.
Yeah, I did think of you when I heard that.
But yeah, you're right. It didn't add anything. The appeal of the first season was was Harry, and this just seemed like it was just expanding the entire townsfolk for no real reason,
Yeah.
especially when you consider what happens at the end of season 4, episode 4.
I was going to say, wow, Damon's got some hot news there.
Well, you've been flying
See
to
the
watch that
future.
in your Sinclair C5. But no, but yeah, I know. I didn't think. Again, to me, it was up with the first episode, where it was kind of, it was all right. It didn't win me over. There were some nice moments. I don't think
Yeah.
it lowered it any more, but it didn't kick. It didn't hit a home run as a.
No, it didn't. You're right. Because I
You
mean,
know, it's just
I was quite vociferous in my defence of episode 1, because I said, we've got to have that reset, and it's got to start building a new plot. But they actually don't really seem to have done much of that.
Well,
No.
I mean, I'm going to argue that I think they have. I think it's suddenly now. I don't know why yet, and I think it'll be one of those when we go back and watch it, and we'll get into a little bit when we get to episode 4 in a minute as well. I don't want to say anything yet because I don't know if Paul wants to listen or go dark for
No,
5
no, it's
minutes while
fine.
we talk about it. But I think Liv is becoming some sort of key to all this.
Yeah, and I kind of got
Yeah,
that from the
absolutely.
start of episode 3, but they didn't need to do it. It's just, again, another padding thing.
No, but I think there's going to be more that maybe she might even know more than she realizes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we said that last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or
Well, no,
maybe it was.
before I was on about. I thought it was Darcy was the link of everyone.
Okay, hang on, which one's who's Liv?
Darcy's the redhead. Liv's the police lady.
Oh right, yeah, of course.
Whereas I think she's going to be. I think maybe she might have even met Harry before, or maybe some of his friends.
Well, she's
Yeah,
got a new car
potentially.
now.
Yeah.
And things like that, which it kind of goes in. I was thinking that then because I thought you've seen her see something, and then they don't really kind of go into it. You get little bits about her upbringing and her life, and I think when we go back and listen to them now, we're going to go, oh my god, that was because of that, but we don't know what that is yet. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of. I think the seeds have been planted, but we haven't really been paying attention because she's just been the sidekick to the sheriff or whatever. Yeah, he's a sheriff. Isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, unless she's an alien princess that helps Harry save the day. It's
I did check if her mates were called Benji and Zax, and there is a Ben.
Well, we might as well just talk about the next episode at the same time.
Okay,
Yeah, go on, go on.
episode 4, Radio Harry. Yes.
But on your point about Liv, you get the same thing with Darcy in episode 4, because she's having dinner with her parents, and you get all of that little, it's not a montage as such, but they're talking to her or talking at her, and she zones out, so all you hear is like the background of them talking, and she's having a bit of a rage fit. So it seems to be that they're just giving every character,
yeah,
more or less.
I think she's the alien in her own town, whereas Matey's the alien in his alienness. Kind of thing, like who is, it's a bit like The Walking Dead. Who are the Walking Dead? Is it the humans or is it the zombie?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're trying to be a bit sort of meta-y with that, or whatever you want to call it, metaphoric or whatever. But again, Liv's telling Darcy again about her memory loss, and I thought it was a nice touch actually with the laundrette. It was like you just needed that one thing to make something be a bit weird. It's like, well, when did I put a dress in?
Yeah.
Like, because it's obviously like that hour or that day's been wiped or whatever, and it looks like it may have enacted memories of her past, maybe where she's lost time or whatever it is that's going on. So there might be more to her than we realise. She's not just because she is the I guess probably the most switched on, isn't she, out of everyone there?
I guess the thing for me is who cares, because I don't want to do the other characters a disservice or anything like that, but it would have been really cool if they'd have done an aliens come along, Harry saves the day, season 2, done, something like that. But
no, I don't agree with that, because Harry wouldn't change.
No,
because he left the planet,
or at least have something,
it.
or at least have something. But this whole season at the moment is so he's taken him a few episodes to build his ET phone home device, and there was a nice touch with how he finds ET attractive and sexy but stupid,
Yeah.
But they did that joke a few times. So he's got his device now. I don't know whether he uses that in episode 4.
Yeah, he does, but it turns out that he's only putting them off for 50 years. So obviously, Asta gets a bit upset about that, and he's like, "Well, what are you worried about? You'll be dead then." And he goes, "Don't worry about Darcy. She'll be dead way before you."
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's what. So that story arc, that the way Harry's playing out, I think fits to
Yeah.
what we learned about Harry in the first season.
Yeah,
Because
in
it isn't just going to switch overnight to being I want to save humanity.
Yeah, but now it's
Yeah.
50
He's
years.
purely selfish. He wants to just save.
No, but
Asta
then it's
because-
not because Asta kicks it over and ruins it.
Yeah. That's.
So
But
it's
what I
not
mean
gonna
is
be-
his
yeah.
character. That's what we're going to
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
It's going to take more time.
Yeah.
Because let's all assume, but let's work on the premise that he is going to end up saving and stopping it all. But it isn't just, it's not an overnight change.
Oh, no. But what I'm saying is, I wanted some action, or at least the possible threat to be here. But other than Harry just saying they're on their way, maybe. Don't know.
Yeah.
That's it. And then they're bigging up the other characters.
But then we get a cliffhanger ending where Harry gets a mysterious phone call from New York in his sort of alien language, and he doesn't know who it is. And also, it gets intercepted by General Linda Hamilton. I forgot her name.
It'd be cool if it was Keanu Reeves that called him. Old Clayton or whatever his name was from
Clutter. No,
the Day the Earth Stood Still, whatever it was.
He was never in the Day the Earth Stood Still. That was a crap hit remake.
No, but
General McAllister. Sorry, Linda Hamilton. I just had to look that up then for anyone shouting at us.
okay, so there's other aliens on the Earth.
Well, someone that knows his language at least. And just in something that excited me for episodes 5 and 6, they are both directed by Leah Thompson over the next 2 weeks.
Really?
Cool.
But yes,
Wow.
even saying that just gave me goosebumps.
Is that why your camera's still off?
Yep, it's gonna be off for a little while longer. But I do like the slow rivalry between the towns building up as well. I think they've played that quite well.
I don't know. I mean, even the old mayor thing is getting a bit boring.
But there's a
now.
bit where as I thought, they go to a restaurant in the other town, and I thought that played quite well. But
I don't think any of it doesn't play well. My beef with it is that it's turning into an ensemble comedy.
It's becoming Melrose Place when it was about a weird alien dude.
Yeah. But we just veered from that, and it's becoming, each character is comical, which we didn't get in the first season. Obviously, they were funny scenarios, etc., but they weren't. Some of them are almost turning into caricatures of their original selves.
Initially. Yeah, the sheriff especially, he was a bit more badass. He was dumb, but he was still quite badass.
Yeah,
it's almost like where you take Harry out of it now. They're just well, no, but that's my point is that it's getting to a point now where I don't know whether it's intentional or unintentional, but they're bigging up all the other characters so that if Harry's not there, then there's still a program. I don't know.
Yeah, which is pointless.
But episode 4, I would rate slightly above episode 3, just for the fact that the story
definitely
moved on a bit.
Yeah,
but
and we got to see the octopus again.
Yeah, the octopus is back still.
Cool.
I'd like to see the octopus maybe introducing an episode or just narrating it, out of breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
I'm still sticking with it. It's enjoyable, but it is becoming, it's expanding maybe too quickly.
To be honest, I can't make up my mind at the moment if I'm not losing interest, but it's becoming a chore because we have to watch it for the podcast, or because the quality of the last couple of episodes haven't been as good as they were.
But that's going to change next week and the week after because Leah Thompson's involved.
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, maybe. It's Leah Thompson.
Yeah, no. Maybe.
For a minute there, I thought episode 7 was good. I just saw the title of episode 7, the director, it's Claudia Yami, which I don't know. But for a second there, I thought it was going to be Claudia Wells.
Get them all in.
Yeah.
News desk.
The news.
News items.
Our first item tonight and something we're all excited about. Key players in the NBC pilot of Quantum Leap have been announced.
The new series is a continuation. Sorry, I wasn't sure who was going to do this one. Yeah, the new series is a continuation.
Catch that. Could you try again?
Sorry, Siri. Let me just put you on mute. I don't know why you chirped in then. Series. That's why. The new series is a continuation from the original, whilst also something of a reboot too. The series sees Raymond Lee, Kevin can F himself, take the role of Dr. Ben Seong, a world-renowned physicist who has picked up the baton of the Quantum Leap project started by Bakula's Dr. Beckett. Ernie Hudson, we know and love, lands the role of Herbert Magic Williams, a Vietnam vet, of course, and head of the time travel project at Quantum Leap, using a bit of politicking and his military know-how to keep the Pentagon at bay. Magic buys the team some time to rescue Ben, but expect answers once he is back. Narissa Lee plays Jen, head of security at Quantum Leap headquarters. She previously played Tiffany Sue in Prime Video series Bosch. And newcomer Caitlin Bassett lands the role of Addison, project lead at Quantum Leap HQ, who operates state-of-the-art technology to communicate with an individual time traveling in the past. Sounds very much like ours replacement. Still no news on whether Scott Bakula will reprise his role as Sam Beckett, but we all live in hope.
Oh, he's going to be in it. That's a blank check for him, isn't it? Even if for 5 minutes.
So I think he will do it if it's done tastefully, respectfully. If it,
I think he just wants a check nowadays.
No, I don't think he does.
I don't think he needs it, does he? He was getting quite a fair whack per episode for the Star Trek nonsense he was doing.
Oh yeah, he's in one of them CSI things, and all, or NCIS, or one of them.
So what are we thinking about this then?
Well, there's something. Sorry, I'm gonna.
No, go for it, Damien. This is your ballpark. You do it.
I think there's two reasons why I'm like you, Brett. I think Scott Bakula will be in it. One, because like you say, blank check, but he's synonymous with the show, so they're bound to convince him some way to come back. But the other thing is, what you said about it being respectful to the original. I'm pretty certain the character that Ernie Hudson is playing was a character that he leaped into in the original. I'm like 99% certain that
you haven't
Magic
Googled
Williams.
This.
No, I haven't. It's only because I think it's an episode I watched recently. Otherwise, I wouldn't. My memory's like.
Get on it, Dr. Summers.
Have a look. Someone Google it. Feel free. But I'm pretty certain Magic Williams is a character that he jumps into in later episodes, because that's what's being shown on Thingy at the moment. I might be wrong. I might be completely, or it may even be coincidence, but I'm certain it is. So that to me kind of indicates that they are doing something kind of in relation to the original, which indicates more to me that there is more chance of Scott Bakula coming back at some point in it, if that makes sense.
I think the
I just got really excited.
I don't know whether this is my concern or whatever, but the fact that we've got all these new characters. One of the lovely things about Quantum Leap, it was like Sam and Hal, and it was just about the journey and everything like this. And this almost feels like it's something really similar that we talked about last year, where it's more of the ongoings at the Quantum Leap directorate, or whatever they're calling themselves. Don't get me wrong, it might be done brilliantly.
It might. I get what you're saying, but the thing is, television then to television now is very different. Yeah. You couldn't reboot Highway to Heaven, for example. It just wouldn't work. Two old dudes roaming the streets of America,
and everyone would probably be offended by it.
Well, yeah, but that aside, there needs because you think the plot line for Quantum Leap, two blokes help someone else for an episode and it moves on. That's pretty much it in a nutshell, which on paper just doesn't sound very good. So we all know it was brilliant. Anyone can fight me on that if they disagree. But you look at the TV shows that are out there now. There needs to be more going on, more stuff in the background, more. But if you think also there were quite a few recurring characters in Quantum Leap. They just weren't always in it.
Because
You
you
know,
had the
Ziggy,
evil leap. You had the
you
evil
had the
leap.
evil leaper. There's loads of people that were they just weren't necessarily in every episode, but they're more often than not were referred to. So, you know, I think I'm just a fanboy for it anyway. So you could do stunt casting for all I care at the moment. If it's going to get made and go beyond a pilot, I'll be happy, just so I can see it and then slate it.
I would like to point out for the record that the Herbert Magic Williams was a character who appeared in the season 3 episode The Leap Home Part 2 Vietnam, where at that point he was played by Chris Kirby, who later went on to be Gideon Danu in Revenge of the Sith Star Wars. Probably his biggest thing after that, just looking. And he was Sam's brother's mate in Vietnam. And
Right.
and he was called Magic because he escaped death twice.
Yeah.
Got and all that, and basically that was the bit where they went in and Sam saved his brother, and then Maggie, the reporter girl,
Yeah,
that's
got it
right.
instead.
That was one of the ones I didn't. They haven't shown the second part on Sci-Fi yet because they're not doing them in order necessarily. But so I was right.
Yeah, and Sam leapt into him to save his brother being killed in action, basically.
So hopefully
yeah.
that's not just some weird coincidence, because I can't see that being a coincidence.
I don't think it
too on
is.
the nose,
Yeah.
isn't it?
No, I totally missed that, so that's made me more excited because it actually shows that maybe they went back and thought about something.
Yeah,
rather than
that's what I mean. So when you said about Scott Bakula, if he'll come back if they're doing everything right and it's all kind of respectful to the original. If this is the same character that he jumps into,
well, what about if he's the villain?
No.
He's been around
Sam
the
isn't-
tangent too much.
Sam
And
isn't the
also,
villain.
did Magic like Maggie the reporter? Does he blame him for her death or anything like that? I haven't seen. I can't remember the episode. I remember Sam saving his brother, but it had no relevance at the time that it might be important.
I don't
30
know.
years later.
Might be overthinking it. I'd like to think that after whatever the stuff that happened, he's managed to work his way into finding out more about what's going on. And
because didn't they do a thing in the end? And again, I remember the earlier series and not the later ones, but didn't they do a bit in the end where, like, towards the end of the later seasons, Al could go and talk to the other bloke, and he was in like a waiting room or something.
They're always in a waiting room. Whenever he leaped into someone, the person that he leaped into was in a holding room, kind of not having a clue what was going on.
Can you remember what happens when they go back, or does it disappear?
I don't know. I don't think they ever, because you don't see it, do you?
Yeah.
Because they, he leaps, they come back, and that's the end of it. Then moves on to another episode. So yeah, it could be any number of those things.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I have a gut feel that Scott Bakula will definitely have an appearance, and I wouldn't put it past them to give a nod to Dean Stockwell, even if that's a
no, they already have
more than a photo, whether it's a hologram.
Isn't it supposed to be Al's daughter or something?
Yeah, but even if that's actually some old footage or new CGI of him.
Do you know what I would do just to make it even more awesome? And you can have this one for free, TV development people. At some point, because he's still alive, can the new guy bump into James Darren, who still hasn't made his way back from the time tunnel? Because he's still alive. Could they not be at a bar and he goes, "I know you. Have we met before?" Just like something like that. That'd be nice. Even a cameo, just a little thing. It'll please me.
Yeah.
And probably James Darren.
Yeah. Well, it's still only a pilot at the moment, so we may not even get to see it. So.
Oh, we'll get to see it somehow.
Somehow.
But
by crook, we'll get to see this.
But
flights to LA.
Yeah.
But we watched it last year. But just now you mentioned a Bosch. If you're a Bosch fan, we've also got some good news for you. Amazon's favorite detective is now part of the free streaming service on IMDb TV, and you're going to get a continuation called Bosch Legacy.
That's right. So the drama stars Titus Welliver, Mimi Rogers, and Madison Lintz reprising their roles from the main show. It's loosely based on a hybrid novel, The Wrong Side of Goodbye, from acclaimed author Michael Connolly, and a spin-off of the longest-running Prime Video original. The series follows the former LAPD detective Harry Bosch as he begins a new chapter as a private investigator. So, for those of you that did watch Bosch, I did. I think I watched all of them in the end.
You said it was good, wasn't it?
It was really good.
I always wanted to watch it because I always really like Titus Welliver and anything he's ever done, but I never have watched it.
He's very, very good in this. So the Amazon show, if you like, ended with him getting his private investigator license. But it seems to I don't remember his daughter joining the police force. I know there was talk of it in the, she wanted to be a police officer, etc., etc. But I think I'm pretty certain it ended with both of them going off to be private investigators. So it's moved on a step. But I quite like the sound of this. I think you probably would need to watch the original series, Bosch, before you watch this one. Although I suppose it doesn't thread through, but you get to know what the character's all about. So,
to be fair, if it's a good box set, I'll watch it.
Yeah, they're all free on well, not free, but obviously, well, it's free if you've got Prime. That makes sense. It's well worth a watch. I think there's only.
Tell me more of this IMDb TV. This is a new one on me. It's crept in here.
So it's it's one of those add-on channels on Amazon.
But it's free.
You don't pay for it. Yeah. Well,
it's just got ads.
Yeah. So if you got Amazon, it's on there.
And is it filmed?
You get it through the web.
Okay.
I was watching some 80s horror film on the other night, and it just had a couple of adverts at the start, and that was it.
That's cool. Yeah, that one passed me by, I must say. So I'll have a look at that then and see what else. I'm always up for yet another supplier of programs that I probably should have watched 30 years ago. But that's cool. So so Bosch is back, and then someone else making a comeback, or a spin-off at least. HBO Max have ordered the Batman spin-off limited series, The Penguin, and it will have Colin Farrell straight out the movie.
Yeah, HBO Max has given a straight-to-series order to the limited series starring Colin Farrell in the title role. The DC drama expands upon the world filmmaker Matt Reeves has created for Warner Brothers Pictures' global blockbuster The Batman, and centers on Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, played by Farrell in the film.
Yeah, he plays it amazing in the film, and you wouldn't even have a clue it was him.
But really, because when we talked about the Batman earlier, you didn't mention him.
Yeah, no, I didn't. But he's good. But again, he is that. No, you're right. But I don't want to give too much away because
if you didn't give anything away, you didn't mention him.
Yeah, but he's very much the sort of nightclub owner gangster who wants to be bigger than he is, and all that. And they've kept him there at the moment rather than.
Didn't they do that in Gotham?
Yeah, very similar to sort of how they've done it in Gotham, without the need to we've got another villain, let's rush him to the forefront as well. I imagine if they've got a trilogy, by the third film, he'll probably be the main villain, but he's going to get there, and probably tread on everyone else in the process or outlive them or whatever. But very similar to Gotham, but obviously Farrell's more a twisted, more realistic Danny DeVito take on it because he's quite sort of horrible looking and that. And I saw a thing with him after I watched it, and he said when he got the makeup on, because a lot of it was filmed in Liverpool, and he went down to like KFC or Burger King or something and was just sat in there, and he said the amount of people just looking at him but not even coming up to him, he's like, yeah, this works. So
I wondered what you were going to say. Yeah, and he went down the Cabin Club, and
and then he got
did a bit of karaoke.
Got the ferry across the Mersey.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, Colin Farrell, I think's had some interesting roles over his career. Some good, some not so good. But I think at the heart of it, he's a decent actor. So yeah, cool. If he pulls out of the bag, then brilliant.
To be fair, when I first read it, I thought it was Will Ferrell. So.
Oh, can you imagine that?
I know. That was my first thought. What?
That would have been back in the days of George Clooney's Batman.
Yeah.
No, Will Ferrell I think should be Egghead.
I can see him being the Iceman.
Yeah, or King Tut.
yeah.
Going back from the '60s series.
Yeah. He would love that old toga party almost.
Toga. Oh, another news item. For those of you who might be jealous about our sort of dodgy Sky setups and our frequent trips to the States, as we predicted, Sky Max has now picked up the Suicide Squad spin-off Peacemaker.
So yeah, as you said, we predicted it months ago. Sky has picked up the much talked about HBO Max series Peacemaker, which sees John Cena reprise his role as the character from James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie. Is to air on Sky Max and now streaming service in March 22nd to be exact, at 10 p.m.
Ooh.
And all episodes will be available from that date via Sky On Demand and Now.
Cool.
Cool indeed.
We've got
Finally.
another breaking update. The Netflix live action Master of the Universe movie has been announced, and it's going to stay faithful to the 80s classic, apparently.
Yeah, new live action adaptation has been rumored in and out of production for years and years and years and years, but Netflix has finally secured it in place and has tapped Aaron and Adam Nee to direct. Oh, okay, cool. It was announced earlier that this year that West Side Story's Carl Allen had been cast in the lead role as He-Man, but little more is known at this stage other than both directors have stated they want to make it more akin to Thor Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy than Lord of the Rings.
So
which makes absolute sense.
So they're not staying faithful to. I've just googled Kyle Allen. I've had more meat in my sandwich.
Yeah, there's quite a fair bit of backlash, apparently, when it was announced that he was going to be playing.
Unless
Prince
he's
Adam,
Prince
etc.,
Adam,
but
and then someone else is He-Man.
Maybe. Who
Well,
knows?
well,
But it's
maybe
amazing what you can do with
CGI.
CGI. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also let's not forget that, you know, between now and filming, he has a lot of time to train potentially.
Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure you can go from that to Arnold Schwarzenegger in a space of a couple of months if they got a 2022 slate for this.
He'll be dead by 30 with a massive heart attack.
You hear about some of the regimes they put themselves under.
Yeah, I suppose when you've got nothing else to do but be paid money to just train all day, then, you know, what are you doing? Going to the gym? Why? They're paying me. Fair enough.
Okay, and they want to make it more akin to Thor Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy than Lord of the Rings. So you're going to get a comedy, you're going to get all that kind of stuff as opposed to people walking around for a bit with the ring.
Yeah.
So let's hire Taiki Waititi and James Gunn to do it then. rather than some knockoff that you're going to knock it out on.
They can't afford that.
I reckon they would have done it. James Gunn, like, what? Do a He-Man film? Yeah.
Still got to pay him though.
Oh yeah, he'd take some money, but I don't think he's. I think he's more up for the challenge than he is because he's still got his Marvel money coming in, isn't he? You know, he's not worried about his mortgage. Also, we've had another news item. We have had some new Obi-Wan Kenobi trailers and clips and footage dropped. The show starts soon. What did you think about that, Damien?
I've not seen anything at all about whatever it was you just talked about. What was it?
Obi-Wan
Kenobi.
He was in the original films. You've got a Millennium Falcon flying above your head.
This is very true. And I also actually do have quite a large picture of him behind me. But I haven't, I've purposely avoided. You haven't noticed there's got almost, 4 foot.
Yeah.
What was the prequel called? Phantom Menace poster that's behind me.
Maybe I thought it was Trainspotting or something. Shallow grave.
To be fair, I didn't go out my way to watch any trailers for Boba Fett or Mandalorian. It doesn't mean I'm not going to watch them. I just refuse to get excited about stuff like that. I'll watch it, and no doubt we'll want to watch it so that we can talk about it. But in all honesty, I could still take it or leave it. So
I'm still worried they're just going to ruin the overall continuity of everything. But that's my worry about most things.
That's probably why I don't get that excited or pay much attention, because it's not going to be as good as anything that we've seen before, and it will ruin something from something. You know, let's be honest. Despite everything we said about Boba Fett, we all bought into that original kind of fanboy nonsense about him being this badass. You know, if he dies, he dies stuff. We all bought into it, whether we liked it or not. and then Boba Fett show came along and kind of dispelled that myth. So the likelihood there's going to be a few things in Obi-Wan that does the same.
I think the interesting thing for me is I watched it and I instantly thought it's not a space western, so Damien might be a bit more on board, but it's not. It's more.
I've got nothing against space western.
No, but I'm
Star
just
Wars
saying.
has always been a space
Exactly.
western.
No.
I remember arguing this 30 years ago.
No, but
George Lucas said it himself.
No,
40
what I
years ago.
mean, what I mean is with the soundtrack and the panning and all that kind of stuff. It's more akin to the old Star Wars films as anything else. And I kind of liked what I saw from that trailer. You know, you got Obi-Wan. Yeah, he's going through a little bit of hardship, shall we say? We've got the Jedi hunters out on the prowl. We've got him on Tatooine looking after potentially Luke. And you know, from afar, and wow, what's the name of the bad guy in it that's been slated online because it doesn't look like how he did in some of the cartoons.
Oh, yeah, he's got the wrong eyes, hasn't he?
Is it the Inquisitor?
Inquisitor guy.
Yeah.
The eyes are different.
It's like, Jesus, grow up, gee.
See, this is why I avoid it, because I can't handle that
Toxicity, chowderhead toxicity.
Chowderhead stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But I forgive all that, all the nonsense that is, and because I won't let a character if he looks slightly different put me off. And obviously we've got Hayden Christensen coming back, and we spoke about this before. His acting cadence has improved, and I think he's got potential to do Darth Vader in all his glory at the earlier days. I don't want to get my hopes up there, if I'm completely honest, because have been burnt a few times.
I think he's going to be in like one episode, and that's going to be a backdoor pilot, so they can do like the Vader Down comic series, where it follows Vader, which is really cool because you see Darth Vader actually doing some evil shit and killing people and taking down. A bit like that last sort of 2 minutes of Rogue One, where Darth Vader was actually really cool and actually killed someone finally on screen after all these years. That's that. So I'm wondering if that's going to be the next. It's almost going to be a backdoor pilot, and then we'll get to see Vader flying around doing evil shit and actually being evil. But
Okay.
I can hope because Hayden Christensen.
Is that a new hope?
No,
one you've always had.
It's always been an old hope, but it's been battered more than the Falcon. But from one bad guy to another on the news, I just wanted to squeeze this in quick. The passing of wrestling legend Scott Razor Ramon Hall. Scott Hall himself. Video game fans will remember him for being Kevin Nash's tag team partner in the WCW NWO games on the N64, but passed away at the age of 63. A cool bad guy, if there ever was.
It's no age, is it?
No.
And our final thing, from one man that lived life by his own rules to another, our final news item today. If you go to cultfaction.com now, we have got the trailers and all the clips up for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, where Nick Cage, Cage Watch, hashtag Cage Watch, plays himself.
I'm so looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah.
So here's the tagline: unfulfilled and facing financial ruin, actor Nicolas Cage accepts a $1 million offer to attend a wealthy fan's birthday party. Things take a wildly unexpected turn when a CIA operative recruits Cage for an unusual mission. Taking on the role of a lifetime, he soon finds himself channeling his most iconic and beloved characters to save himself and his loved ones. And it also stars Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian, Sharon Horgan, Ike Barinholtz, Alessandra Mastronardi, Jacob Scipio, Lily Sheen, Neil Patrick Harris, and Tiffany Haddish. So, quite a delight there.
See, this to me doesn't sound too far-fetched from what could actually happen in real life, does it? You've got some rich Russian oligarch wanting Nick Cage to turn up for his birthday, and then he got
Wait,
CIA.
he
sent
wouldn't be
to
able to afford it now because all his assets would be frozen. But
him.
say
You
Saudi
could
oil
probably
baron or
still
something.
afford Nick Cage. But, well, this may have even happened to Nick Cage. We know the kind of world he lives in.
This is true. Maybe
Based on a true
he
story.
recounted the story to someone, and they've turned it into this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, can't wait. Really want to see it. Whilst we're on Cage Watch, has anyone seen him? The interview that he's done recently I think it's on the red carpet for some premiere or another, and he's wearing a kind of tartan suit, and they kind of
No.
the guy says to him about obviously asking the question why you're wearing that suit, and he basically goes off on one about why he wanted to dress up like a tin of shortbread. So if you Google that, it's brilliant. It's Nick Cage being Nick Cage. It's like whenever I come to England, I always seek out. He says always seek out a can of shortbread, and I just thought I'd dress like one or words to that effect. It's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Oh man, so that interview is available now, and the actual Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent opens on April the 22nd across the world. So
Fantastic.
get your Cage on.
But we have to do a live watch party.
Yeah.
He might turn up.
If we can stump up the $1 million.
No, because he is totally that bloke when you invite everyone back from the pub and no one knows that one guy that's there. And it's like, how did he get in? It's like, don't know. That is Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on any cast list he's ever been, no one remembers hiring him, but he's in the film. So that wraps up our weekly episode. We will be back next week. For all the latest news and views, check out cultfaction.com. For the podcast, please check us out on all the various podcast apps. Please leave a nice review for us and some feedback. It really does help us out, so please do that. The littlest 2 minutes of your time is $1 million to us. It really does mean that much.
Well, it's not quite
Could
$1
even
million,
shape
is
what
it?
we say next.
Yeah, it
It's
could.
not any money at all, but it could
No.
shape what we bring to your ears next time.
It really could. So any questions, any views, any opinions, you can email us at
cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
Also, don't forget to check us out on TikTok. The quizzes are rocking on there. The videos are flowing. We're getting lots of cool comments and lots of good interaction on there. So that's a whole other wing to the Cult Faction mansion. Go and check it out. And nice metaphor.
A different string to our bow, I think, is where you a wing. Different wing to our airplane is what I thought you were going to say.
We're all under the
He's
we're all
just
under the
watched the
same
Batman.
roof.
It's
We're all under-
Wayne Manor.
We're all under the same Cult Faction roof. Just many wings to our manor. And
Indeed.
it's totally for you. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so please do check out our TikTok. There's all sorts going on there, lots of quizzes, lots of videos. It's another string to our bow. And so if you please do that as well, that would be amazing. Right, we're gonna sign off now. So it's a farewell from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
And it's adieu from me.
Keep your eyes out for Nick Cage. He's always out there somewhere, but do sleep safely.
Superman.
Oh no, I can't cough. I'll be gone if I start coughing.
Everyone's gone.
Damien's frozen.
By bringing us down, he'll defeat the Western world.
Exactly. Crocodile shoes, eh? But I have to go on record and say that Will Smith never tried to do anything like that with myself.
Pizzagate. Oh, cool. I'll cut your internet off.
It's pancake day. It's pancake day. It's pancake day.
Ooh, what's that?
That was David James liking one of our TikTok videos. I very much doubt it's David James, the footballer.
Hello?
I'm still here. I just stopped listening.
I had the Sky guy ring me the other day. He went, "Hi,
Sky guy?
It's Gary.
Sky guy.
Was that
Ryan
hi?
Reynolds in his new role.
Yeah, it's Gary from Sky. Have you thought about having our new super deluxe broadband, or whatever it's called?" I went, "Yes, I have." I said, "But I can't." He said, "Why?" He said, "Yes, you can." He went, "What's your postcode?" And I gave him my postcode. He went, "Oh, you can't." I said, "See, I told you." So I'm not in the right area. He went, "Let me just see if I can do anything else." He went, No, I can't actually. But told you. So call me back when you sort it out. Oh, thank you for your time. I think he was like really excited that you might have had a sale. I was like, yeah, I can.
Yeah.
You over enthusiastic car salesman, you. And then like pointed out to him. I think I even told him where it needed to go on the router on the road because I worked out I want it, but you're not delivering it to me.
Can
But,
you go with Virgin? Are they not in your neck of the woods?
No.
Probably too scared.
Yeah, probably. Any van with Virgin written on around there will get torched.
Yeah.
But
Or worse.
So
we've got some like cough medicine that tastes
Cough
like
medicine.
rosemary and thyme. It's really weird. It doesn't taste like cough medicine.
You've been
it's
listening
bizarre.
out Felicity Kendall.
It's like you should
What
be
did you
having it
just
with
say?
like roast lamb.